Hello Guardian. Do you desire to truly embrace the Void? To become master of the Void? The ultimate Voidwalker? If so, then this is the right video for you. I'm Profane, and today I'm going to be showing you one of the best PvE builds for Voidwalker Warlocks in Season of the Splicer. Now before we jump into things, if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button below, and if you're new to the channel, hitting the subscribe button would be greatly appreciated. So, Warlocks, I'll be honest, with me recently coming back to Destiny, I didn't really jump straight to my Warlock. I went to my Hunter just because I'm definitely been a Hunter main. But over the last week I began playing around with my Warlock and checking out some of the builds available. And with the new mods that this seasonal artifact have given us, guys, the results are astonishing, because Bungie has definitely set Voidwalker Warlocks up for sure. So today we've got my Warlock on display using the top tree Voidwalker. Chaos, Accelerant, and Bloom are the two big perks on this tree that we're after to pull off a devastating Warlock build. From there, it's on to our weapons. Now currently I'm running a Hung Jury with Firefly and the Salvo with Chain Reaction, and that's because I'm taking advantage of the perks granted by the Energy Accelerant mod, which is one of the new seasonal mods, which increases the size and damage of explosions created from Dragonfly, Chain Reaction, and Firefly. So both of those weapons utilize those features, and I definitely wanted to make sure that I'm taking advantage of those. Obviously you can switch out based on what weapons that you're using, but I felt like this really worked out with what I'm going for out of this build. So like I said, these weapon slots are pretty interchangeable. Sliding in a Wither Horde in place can make for some big damage when paired up with the Breach Clear. But today, like I said, we're going to a different direction because we're going with the Deathbringer for our exotic and our heavy item. So that is the exotic rocket launcher. We're going to be pairing this up with the Argent Ordnance mod, which is one of the new seasonal mods, which while charged with light, readying or firing a rocket launcher grants increased damage and reload speed. One stack of charged with light is consumed when damaging a combatant. Now this, along with some of the other build combinations, is going to provide us with the ability to supercharge our supers and dish out insane DPS against Nightfall bosses, raid encounters, and pretty much anything else that needs to be mowed down by the Void. Now when it comes to armor, we're starting off with our exotic, which I'm using the Nezarec Scent. Now right off the bat, I'll just go ahead and say, for anyone who noticed, my armor stats aren't quite where I'd like them to be. Like I've aforementioned, just started my Warlock back, so definitely on that grind for better, higher armor stat rolls. But I digress. We are using Nezarec Sen because of its perk called the Abyssal Extractors. Now Void kills increase ability regen, and as you saw, this is, first to point out, this is all of your abilities included, not just your super, but all of your abilities get improved regen. And if you didn't notice, we're using quite a few Void things with this build. Now, that's our goal really, is to be able to create as many Void kills as possible, to be able to get our super, to be able to dish out huge DPS numbers. And our goal is to be able to stay charged with light as often as possible. Now, with this build, I feel like I'm able to sustain charged with light pretty much at an entire encounter, as long as you're staying engaged in combat, because of course you got to be able to be generating orbs, be getting consecutive kills and things like that for a lot of these perks to work. Now we're putting high energy fire on the Nezarec Sen, which will increase our damage while we are charged with light. We'll be pairing this up with the Ashes to Assets mod. This mod technically isn't stackable, so we will only see a moderate increase with putting 2 of these mods on here, but since I didn't really want to waste the Ascendant Shards on this drop of the Nezarec Sin, I didn't want to fully masterwork it, so I didn't have anything better to put here in these 2 mod slots, so I went with the Ashes to Assets in both of them. Now our arms are going to be decked out with the Argent Ordnance mods, along with an anti-barrier scout mod or the barrier mod of your choice if you choose to go with an overload for an SMG or hand cannon or unstoppable with the sidearm, whichever you choose to put in this slot. Now we've also got the Impulse Recycler from the available seasonal mods, which grenade final blows grant grenade energy. Now this mod is stackable, but even just having one of these mods, I tell you, is greatly going to improve the regen of those grenades, especially when tacked on to everything else that this build is rendering you. Now with our chest piece, we have thrown in the Blast Radius, which charges us with light after consecutive kills with grenade launchers, or rockets, which work out great since we have both of those in this build. Now we'll obviously want to increase our rocket launcher reserves since we're investing a lot of our build into rocket launchers, but needless to say, the Deathbringer is definitely worth it. Now with our leg armor, we'll be using the Inversion, which reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb, which if you're in a fire team, hopefully you're going to be picking up a lot of orbs as it is. But as long as you've got your weapons masterworked, you should be generating a good amount of orbs for yourself. We're adding in Taking Charge here, which you become charged with light when picking up an orb. We've also thrown this Season's Rocket Scavenger mod on, and finally onto our Bond. Now with this build, I chose not to go with Breach Clear, which I'm sure a lot of you are probably scratching your head over because everybody is all over Breach Clear right now. But honestly, I hate that it takes up 9 slots on my class item. It sucks. By any means though, with this build, we just weren't going for something that the Breach Clear would provide. That is a great way to bump up your DPS numbers, but that's just not what we're going with this build. We're going a different way to be able to get the same outcome, if not better outcome, because this really makes you more overall efficient in PvE. Now we're going with Energy Converter here on our Bond. Even though it does give a stat penalty, the benefit is just vast with this build. Because we're charged with light, using a grenade attack grants super energy. Or while we're charged, not because we're charged, but while we're charged, using a grenade attack grants super energy. It does consume one charge, or all of our charge stacks in the process, but this allows you to regain up to half of your grenade recharge if stacked. Now we're only going to be using one of these, but by any means this is still an enormous perk to be able to regenerate your grenades quickly, and this, along with the previous mods and perks that we've already applied to this build, you're going to be able to have a grenade ready at almost all times while you're engaged in combat. Now we're also going to be running Energy Accelerant, which I spoke about this earlier, and the Unstoppable Schwarzschild Condenser. I never say that damn thing right. Now this works out beautifully on all adds, not just champions, but a charged melee will stun your unstoppable champions, along with any unshielded combatants, which can be immensely beneficial if you find yourself surrounded by rank and file enemies, but also when adding to the fact that we are equipped for barrier or overload champions already because of our arms, and now unstoppable champions, we are now setting our build up to be immensely resourceful in any PvE encounter, which honestly that's the big goal, is to make yourself as immensely resourceful and efficient in PvE as possible while dishing out huge numbers, which this build definitely will do. So there you have it guys, the ultimate Voidwalker in Season of the Splicer. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If it has helped, be sure to hit the like button below, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button as well. It's greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear some of the crazy builds you guys are coming up with so far this season, so let me know in the comments below. Until next time though, This has been Profane, wishing y'all some happy hunting.